Hi, folks. Oof. Okay, that screen is still too bright and I have it on dark mode. So, welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Talks. And this one, okay, first of all, it's brought to you by Des Moines New Age Shopping Community Center, as well as Des Moines New Age Radio. I'm Alicia. I'm your host. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Sorry, guys. I'm nursing one heck of a migraine. I've been sick for the last couple of weeks. That's why we've been doing reruns. But basically, I'm not going to take up a huge chunk of you guys' time. But tonight, hold on just one second. Oh, hey, babe. I'm live. And this is my hubby. And actually, it would probably be a good thing if he weighed in on this too.
We a lot.
Well, tonight, honey, we're talking about, because we keep getting the questions and people keep getting confused, what type of reader do you need for what?
The right one. What kind of questions are you referring to?
Dear God, all right.
You don't go to a reader for medical advice.
What?
If you have a medical problem, you go see a fucking doctor. Okay?
Anyway, no, basically, and what my hubby, you want to just stick your head in here?
Not really.
Seriously. Anyway.
I have no problem just hovering over you and making things awkward for you live on
He's
there.
like a dementor. He's here to suck away my happiness, but he will find none. No,
yeah, because I'm already. How do you think I got so big?
Anyway,
eating it all.
I know, right? No, basically, I keep getting a lot of people who don't know what a psychic medium is, and they think that a tarot reader, can diagnose these things that they can't. And so I decided to go on and just kind of let people know how to sort things out to get the most out of their reading,
Right.
For me, I grew up in the area, so it's second nature to me, and I didn't know that anyone. Okay, thank you. I didn't know, and thanks for the coffee, babe. I didn't know that anyone was unfamiliar with some of the terms. So I remember sitting down with this poor lady, and I'm trying to explain what a psychic medium does. And she's like, what? Because she just wanted to come and see someone to figure out some problems she had. And I was like, well, are you wanting to talk to someone who's passed on? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, then you probably want to go see a tarot reader or an oraculist. You can even see a palmist. Are you looking for what's in the future? And, and she didn't, it took her a little bit because we weren't coming from the same point of origin on the question. So that's what inspired this. As we come closer and closer and closer to Samhain, thinning of the veil, spooky season, there's going to be more and more readings going on. It's a very popular time for it, and it's a wonderful time because it's a lot easier to connect to all things in the beyond. Hence the thinning of the veils. Samhain is essentially all the way back, just Samhain and its present day descendant, I guess you could say. Halloween is basically a festival of the dead. So when you're going to a reader, it all depends on what you're wanting. If you are wanting to communicate with the dead, now is absolutely the time to do it. Now, I don't recommend holding seances on your own. I say go to a professional, and that is a psychic medium. Psychic mediums, what they do is they reach beyond. Now, they can't communicate with other things, ghoulies, goblins, spirit guides, but their main thing is communicating with the dead, those who have passed on. Now, a clairvoyant is something completely different. A clairvoyant, clairvoyant is clear seeing. They can see beyond. They can see into the other realms, other dimensions, spirit world, see the future, see the past, see things that are going on around them that they are not present for. But one of the major things clairvoyants are famous for is seeing into the future. So if you have a clairvoyant medium, that's an awesome one. Because not only can they talk to your ancestors, talk to your past over loved ones, gain closure, but you can also see what's coming up for yourself. A trance medium is somebody who goes into a deep, deep trance and pulls information out from the dead, but also from your future. And those are very interesting, but that's a pretty in-depth reading. You don't go to that just for funsies. That's not a light reading. You're going to be spending a couple hours there. Think Edgar Cayce, The Sleeping Prophet. Go look him up. He's a fun one. Now, a tarot reading, that's more about the problems that's going on for you right now, or what could be coming up in the future if you're having any dilemmas, questions, or if you're just kind of wanting to find your path. And that's more under divination. So tea leaf reading, tarot, oracle, pendulum reading, those are more under divination. And that's just looking to the future, looking into your issues. And a lot of times in a tarot or an oracle reading, what's going to come up is what you're facing right now, or what you're really more not facing currently. So if you're just looking for a general reading or just general stuff you need to know, then you want to go to tarot, oracle, pendulum, something like that. An astrological reading is, now there are two types, the natal chart or the transits. The transits are what's coming up in the skies for you, how your life is going to progress with the skies, or via the skies. But your natal chart is what you were born, how you were born to do things, what your path is currently, if you're on your path, tips on how to get on your spiritual path, your life path. It's the same way with Chinese astrology, fate, fortune, and how to make negatives into positives in your life, as well as how to walk your destined path, and a little more information on it. Of course, it's not concrete. We always have freedom of choice, but this does help. It's going to give you a roadmap. Palmistry or hand analysis. Either one, that is more about you, your path, and the stuff that's coming up for you. And getting a good palmist or a good hand analyst, they're worth their weight in gold because they can tell you quite a bit. Same thing with numerology. That's all about you. So seeing a numerologist, you'd be seeing them for your life path as well as what's coming up for you. And again, getting a good numerologist, that's some really amazing stuff. Rune reading. A rune reader, a good rune reader, is amazing because they give it to you straight. But don't go to them unless you really want a straight up reading. I mean, they don't sugarcoat anything. A good rune reader just tells you like it is. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. That's it. And that's part of the reason why I love a good rune reader, because they are just they're fast, they're intense, they're honest, and they don't have time to play games or put any sugar on anything. So I love going to a good, talented rune reader. Now, they're always readers. There are different skill levels and different methods. But a good rune reader is going to be fast, hard, efficient, and honest. And it's not going to leave you any room to hide during the reading. Spirit guide readings. One of the things I specialize in. Spirit guide readings is basically talking to your spirit guides and getting their messages for you, to you. And what that's going to do, you're going to see a lot of repeating themes and everything like that. But if a spirit guide pulls you to a spirit guide reader to sit you down and talk to you, that means that you haven't been getting their messages. You're not listening to what they need you to hear, because the spirit guides, your team of spirit guides, has been with you since probably before birth, even multiple lifetimes in some cases. And they're here for you. They're here to fulfill their contract with you. A spirit guide contracts with a soul that incarnates before incarnation, so as they both learn their lessons on either side of that veil. And yeah, I have seen some pretty frustrated spirit guides, let me tell you. Oh my goodness gracious. Because remember, most spirit guides have been incarnated. It might have been a while, because you have to have some experience before you get into the spirit guide biz, as it were, biz, so to speak. But that doesn't mean that their human charges don't still break their hearts daily, sometimes. And so they will bring you to a reader and say, look, you won't hear me, so listen from them, And the spirit guides have a lot of information on what's going on in your life, what's going wrong, how to fix it, what you've done, what you're capable of doing, what you came here to do. Basically it's a path reset. Get back on your path. Don't, enough monkey business, so to speak. Tarot and Oracle are wonderful for general readings, but also to ask pointed questions. And the tarot and the oracle readings can really help you figure out what's going on and kind of clarify all those muddy waters around you, give you some insight. Even if sometimes the readings are things you already knew, the answers from the readings are things you already knew, it's valuable to hear it because you're going to hang on to it more if somebody else is giving you that reassurance that your gut feeling is correct. One of the things that I have seen clients come to me over and over and over with, they already knew all of this, but they need somebody to tell them and confirm that their gut instinct is correct. And we all need that at times, myself included. I can't count how many times I've gone to readers that I actually feel are good to straighten out some problems that, yes, I could read for myself, but I didn't feel I had the objectivity in my own life to look at. And then sometimes I go to readers just because I think the readings are cool and I want to try it out. Hallie Arhas, Indigo Moon, she is one of those. She actually reads through crystals. She created her own system entirely. She's a Gemini rooster, so I should have expected that. But she created her whole system entirely, uses all kinds of crystals to read with, and she's hella accurate. I'm so glad I sat down with her. But I sat down mainly because I was curious about the system because I'd never seen it before. It was the same way when I first saw Astrodice. Oh my God, those things, as long as you know astrology, they read like a dream. I actually sell some in the Moines New Age shop, but they are so much fun, but I had never seen them before. So I bought a set and I started working with them and wow, awesome. But anyways, now let's see what else. OM readings, they're a lot of fun as long as you can get a good OM reader. OM is the Celtic stick language. It was originally found on the edges of tombstones and such like that. And it's supposed to actually come from the Druids. So I love going to a good home reader, but they are few and far between, let me tell you. But that stuff is a little hard to read, so I understand it. I do sell some OM sets handmade at the shop, but it is still, it's hard to get a good beat on them. They are only for certain people. Only certain people connect with OM. Let's see what else. Totem readings. Totem readings are more about your path, what you're supposed to do, the traits of the animal totems that are coming into your life. And remember, totems there's some that are always with you, but there are some where you are only supposed to get the message that that animal is giving you. So totem readings are a whole nother level. And they're really interesting because they give you a lot of insight on where you're going and some of the reasons why you are the way you are. So it'll answer a lot of questions for you. But it's not one of those that's going to help you divine the future or talk to a passed on loved one. Let's see. Tea leaf reading. Tea leaf reading is absolutely wonderful. It's a wonderful form of divination. I absolutely love it, but you need to go to a really good and accurate tea leaf reader in order to get the most out of it. It's the same thing with coffee ground reading. It's amazing. But again, you need to go to a good one. And with tea leaf and coffee ground reading, it is more divination. So it's going to look into any problems that are coming up for you in the future, but also anything you're facing right now. Crystal ball scrying. So I get a lot of questions about this as well. Fire scryers and crystal ball scryers. Now, these people, they are going into a trance and looking into the future for you. So, or looking up answers, but more looking into what is coming for you or what is past. And they are more clairvoyancy, but using tools to hone it, to refine it, make it kind of like a laser focus. Oh, that's another thing. Whenever you're getting a reading, you always want to have questions. I understand everybody loves a general reading or a for fun reading, but if we're going to open and part the veils of the knowledge of the beyond for you, give us a target to shoot at, for the love of God. Honestly, otherwise, we're just wandering around out there going, wee, okay. So have some things you actually want to know before you sit down, even if it's not a lot. And keep in mind, we're going to get started on a question and then other answers that are going to come surrounding that question for you. So it's really good to give us a target to shoot at. The other thing is going to be, the future is not solid. It's not set in stone. It's always fluid. Think of readers like guideposts or guides on the road, warning signs. And I know my dad, he is a psychic medium. He's a clairvoyant psychic medium and a trance medium. And he would always say, you know, it's great when people come back to me and say, oh, you were so right, da, 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 and that's wonderful. But the reason I gave you the reading is so you could avoid that. You know, I would rather you come back to me and say, you're so wrong, and this. And I avoided all of that. And he would say, good, I'm glad. I didn't want you to head for that trouble. I wanted you to steer around it, you know. So, you know, the future is always fluid. You can change it. We're just here to give you a heads up and go, you might not want to drive down the road next Saturday at 8 p.m. because you're going to crash into something, you know, just saying. But if you stay home, you'll be fine. Now, with some people, that crash is going to happen if they're sitting home watching TV or whatever. That's called fate and destiny. And there is such a thing as an appointed time for everything. But there's still a lot of fluidity within that. Now, let's see. Oh, also, yes, there are medical intuitives, and some of the ones I've seen are absolutely amazing. But if you think you're pregnant, call your doctor. If you think you have cancer, call your doctor. Don't ask us. Don't ask when you're going to die. Don't ask these things because you know what? I, as a reader, will not tell you, period, simply because of legal and moral issues. But, you know, it's just, don't ask those things. Ask your doctor instead. Let's see what else. Oh, Reiki therapist. When do you need a Reiki therapist? Reiki is it's an energy worker. Okay, so it works with your body's energy, and that can help with health. That can help with a lot of other things. We're not medical doctors, obviously. I can only give you my personal experience. It does help because we are all connected. Mental, emotional, energetic, physical, all of it is connected. If one thing's off, the whole package is going to be off. That's where your Reiki and your energy workers come in. They kind of just adjust all those energy systems, go through, clear you out, clear out any stuck blockages, everything like that. So everything's running right. It's kind of like taking your car in for maintenance. That's how I would say Reiki is. Maybe kind of like going to a chiropractor. Okay, somewhere in between those two. That's when you go to your energy worker and your Reikiist, Reiki therapist, Reiki master, whatever you want to call it. It's to adjust you and get you back into balance and back flowing correctly so the other stuff in your life can flow correctly. And it's not just a one-time thing, okay? They clean you out, they get you running correctly, but you have to come back every so often to get yourself back into balance because we all fall out of balance. Okay, that's just how it is. Whether it's going to the doctor, going to the chiropractor, going to the Reiki person, going to talk to a friend because you've had a bad day, it's all about putting us back into balance where we need to be doing our best and to be helping others as well as ourselves. Can't pour from an empty cup, right? Okay. Let's see what else. I think I've covered most of the readers that you will meet day to day. Palmistry. Ooh, and I'm at 19 minutes. This is longer than I wanted to go. Sorry, guys. Again, I'm nursing one heck of a migraine, and yeah, it's kind of scrambling my thoughts. But anyways, reading do's and don'ts. Oh, another thing. Now, there is such a thing called a channeler for a reader, and that's when somebody draws in a spirit into themselves, whether it's a deity or a spirit. And I am going to tell you, I steer clear of those guys simply because you never know exactly what's coming through or what will come home with you from the channeled reading. If I were to go to a channeler, it would be one that is very well experienced, and I would say 2 to 3 decades in. Simply because they'll have enough know-how to know what they're pulling in. Same thing with psychic mediums. I do like my psychic mediums. I prefer them to have some years of experience. That way they know what they're dealing with. They've had enough time to have boots on the ground experience before they come to you and speak with you. One other thing about energy workers, a good energy worker, a strong one. Now, remember, there is variance in energy worker and Reiki therapist. But a good energy worker, a strong one, can actually clear houses of negative entities and negative attachments. So, and that's why I work with an energy worker at the shop to do that. And you guys will hear me refer anyone that comes into her. She is amazing. Her name is Antoinette, and she's with Spiral Healing Energies. Yes, she does do the regular Reiki, things like that, but she specializes in getting nasty problems out of people's lives, out of people's houses. So, yeah, she's amazing at it, and she has helped me and my family before. All righty. Well, I think I've covered everything so far. Oh, also, if it's available, I always recommend, not just for patrons, but for readers as well, to have a Reiki therapist on standby while you're doing readings. What I like to do is I like to have the Reiki therapist clear the person off, clear their energy and balance them before they come to read with me. And the reason why I do that is so the client gets more bang for their buck. That way I can home right in on the client without picking up all the energy that Mary Sue, Joe, and Bob left on them either at work or at school or the spouse or the parents or the kids. I'm just reading them. And it makes for a much cleaner read. It's also a lot easier on me because, well, I won't say easier because nothing is easy about doing readings at all. But it allows for things to flow easier. There, that's it. It allows for things to flow easier. Knowledge, information, and the stuff that the client is wanting to know from me. It's a much better use of both of our time. Also, it makes the client a lot healthier and a lot happier. So, yeah. And for readers, especially, I would say have a Reiki therapist go over you at the end of your readings and flush you off and clear any cords, anything like that, just to make sure you're reset at the end of the day. Now, you can learn how to do this yourself. You can carry crystals around and everything like that, but I really strongly encourage a good Reiki therapist is going to do wonders for psychics and clients alike. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments or message me on DesMoinesNewAge.com. Mwah. Loves to you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and go to Spotify and click on Des Moines New Age Radio to follow us and listen to all the programs. All right. Loves to you all. Mwah. And now we are going to go to the outro. Let's see if I can get this done.